Hey there, welcome to another ARR Reborn Relic showcase for the Zodiac weapon for the Paladin, the poster boy of Endwalker, or poster girl depending on how you look at it. It is one of the classic ones, the classic two tanks from ARR Reborn, both Warrior and Paladin being it. But here we have the Katana and the Holy Shield. Or Katana and Holy Shield. I don't quite know how to pronounce the sword's name, but this is the form that you get after you have done all the little busy work that you need to do for Geralt. You know, go kill the Chimera, kill the Hydra, go to Ampador Keep, etc, etc, etc. Once you have done all that and you go and get the Fanavia Mist and other things too, it will turn into the next form. Once again, these are not guides, this is just showing you what the weapons actually look like and stuff like that too. And having a little bit of a chitty chat at the same time. Anyway, let us move on to the Zenith form. Here we have the Zenith form for the Katana and Holy Shield. They are now beautifully shiny, have a nice glow to it, and quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if you wanted to stop here with the relic farm. But no, it gets better. It really does. It really, really does down the line. The actual Paladin Relics are some of my favourite ones when it comes to their shininess. At least when it comes to ARR Reborn and a few little bits and bobs here and there. I actually quite like them, but it's our only boy that has a shield. My poor inventory screams. Anyway. This form is obtained once you have just added the mist, and this is what you need, so you can start going out and getting the Atmas from the Fates. Here we have the Katana and Holy Shield Atma version. After going from a sort of standardized, almost silver type look for the extra decoration stuff, it's now, as you've noticed, gone to a little bit more gold blemishes on both the shield and the sword itself. In fact, if we just have a little look at the shield, at the sword, sorry. See here, like the handle is a lot more embellished, as well as also, as I said before, with the gold here as well. There's actually little bits of cracks and stuff like that too. A tiny little bit of rust because at the end of the day, this is a relic, and if there's one thing Geralt is very good at, it is replicating exactly what we don't want out of these. Funnily enough though, it is not actually him who does this, it is just us infusing the power into these so the memories get injected in, and it is what it is. But yes, what we want to see though is the shiny variant, don't we? Which is quite a sight indeed, because after you have finally farmed and got past the 9 to however many books it goddamn exists in this game, you will obtain the next form. Let's have a look. The Katana and Holy Shield Animus Relics. The shine is beautifully accommodating to these. You obtain yourself a nice blue hue, almost like Aether itself. It is very shiny, very nice, and you have a lovely, almost holy aura emanating from the blade itself. And the shield itself is like, you will not pass, sir. You will not pass. As it should be with a shield. So, the stage, you've done the books, you've moved on. This is where you're starting to get the spear scrolls. So once you got the spear scrolls sorted, you got all those farming done. You know the drill by now. You've probably been farming these a while, and if this is your first one, once again, not a guide, but you need to do the treasure maps to get what you need, as well as also rank 1 to 3 materia to infuse into the spear scroll. It can be a pain, but honestly, it's expensive as well, depending on where you go. But the ones that tend to be cheaper are as always, the tenacity and the healing ones. So, there you go, recommendations. Don't be afraid to make them cheap. There's no reason to make them expensive when you can get it cheaper. Let's move on to what happens once you've infused this with the spear scroll. The next form which is leading up to the final form for the Katana and the Holy Shield replicas. Not the replicas, because these are replicas, as I've already done these. But yes. Let's move. The Katana and Holy Shield Nova form. At this point, the shield and the sword are imbued with the power of materia. They're exuding a golden aura emanating from the blade and also the shield. In fact, you can even see that it almost looks like there's a bit of a force field around the shield as well. It is very magical. That bulwark will save you and protect you from many attacks within. At least that would be the in-game lore definition. The sword itself is almost like a lightsaber. The golden holy aura emanating from it is nothing short of what a paladin really desires and needs in this wonderful world of Eorzea. What better friends would you need to have alongside you? But yes, at this form, you're now tasked with farming the light, which you require to make this even stronger before you make it into the final Zodiac weapon. So let us have a look at what the next form, the Nexus Form, is going to entail after you've done all that farming. Because be it Aurum Vale, Tamtara Deepcroft, or any other dungeon that you go into, it is very recommended you do it Unsynced because it's much quicker. But back then, you didn't have the choice. So just remember, when you are doing these farms, what it must have been like back in A Realm Reborn when these first came out to actually make. There is no wonder that people did not enjoy doing these. Let us move on to the next form. So, the final form until it evolves into the Zodiac version of this relic. Here we have the Katana and Holy Shield Nexus weapons, where it no longer is glowing massively like it was when you were farming all that light in whatever dungeon or self-torture imposed that you decided to go for. But once you've gone through that nightmare, you're finished with it. Obviously that was the previous one. Once you're onto this phase, you no longer need to farm light. You can see here as well, the weapon itself is so overflowing with the power and energy of Aether that you've just extorted from enemies. It is coming out of the weapon itself. It cannot be contained within the blade and the shield anymore. You can see with the shield that it has a nice shiny little sort of bright star right there in the middle of the shield, as well as also the sort of force field type sort of aesthetic is more prevalent than it was originally. The sword itself is now glowing with all sorts of manners of colours. You can once again see the blade, you're not completely blinded anymore, and it has some rings of energy running around it as well. It is once again purple and just flowing, overflowing with power. So, are you ready to get working? Are you ready to work towards the final form of this relic, the Zodiac one? So, get prepared to go forward and do a ton of quests for different NPCs. It will take you all across Eorzea, but my god, is it worth it to get yourself the Zodiac weapon for the Paladin. Quite frankly, I recommend if you have even the ounce of interest, this is one of those that's worth doing. Let's have a look. A classic staple in the Final Fantasy series and in lore as well. It is Excalibur and Aegis. This, bar the final form, which makes it shiny obviously, is the final form. Your hard work has paid off. You have now obtained basically the ultimate weapon and the ultimate shield. Obviously, since this is A Realm Reborn, this is no longer the case, but aesthetically, they're gorgeous. The basic, really big, thick blade has now been more refined and shortened down into a single blade, as you can see here, with loads of gold embellishments and rubies upon the shaft of the weapon. At the very end as well is a glowing gem which emanates and pulsates as it is in your hand. If you are to put it away, I believe it does actually stop pulsating. I'm not sure about that. It does indeed. So you just whip it out and there you go. The shield itself is once again emboldened with gold and has white as well. Has a small little gem right here, as you can see, that also pulsates once you have it with you too. And is embellished with a ruby gem in the middle too. One of the best looking relics in the game. But not in this form. Let us look at the Zodiac Zeta. Well, here we are. All your hard work has finally paid off. You've run through those dungeons, you've got those 12 Zodiacs attached to this. You imbued it with the power that it requires to get it to the final form that it deserves to be. The Excalibur and Aegis Zetas, or Zetas, whatever you want to go with. Compared to a lot of the other relics, it is not overbearing in the amount of shine that comes off of it. It goes back to the Nexus version where it has the rings of energy going around the relic of the sword. The sword itself is now surrounded by a holy aura which is emanating from the blade itself. The shield is just blinding and radiating with the holy energy that is just so suitable for paladins indeed. When they made these relics, they made them suit the jobs indeed. If you've seen some of the other ones as well, you will realize how different and unique each and every single one of the relics are. Compared to warrior and monk relics, this one is not exuding any darkness at all. And yes, the Zodiac weapons are dyeable. I've decided I'm probably not going to show you the dyeable bits here and there, since I feel like in the end, that's something which would be nice for you to find out for yourself as well. Just know that when you do dye it, the white parts on this actually get turned to the dye. That's basically it. I could show, but not today. Right now, I have some more relics to farm. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Katana and Holy Shield, all the way to the Zodiac weapon variant, which is Excalibur and Aegis. Hope you've enjoyed this sort of take on the relic weapons today. I've tried this to be doing a bit of a different style. Not really overly dramatic or anything like that, but this isn't scripted. I will admit this. This is all just off the cuff and off the fly, but I thought it had a bit more sort of flair and expression to the relics. But yes, I will see you guys and girls again for another video where we'll be looking at further relics, as well as also more content in Final Fantasy XIV, do mounts, minions, and other various miscellaneous stuff in the game that exists. I'm going to be avoiding news sort of videos in future. I don't really do news on this channel, if I'm going to be honest. But hey, maybe I'll see you in yours here. I'm on Twintania Light if you're interested. I stream on twitch.tv/Wobsy. And it's basically the same everywhere in all forms of media, be it Instagram or Twitter. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. Ta-ta for now.